Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Spark of Genius Flesh and Blood production. We have a CC replay. So next kind of season of CC. Oh my god, season of CC replays. I'm
Season
not working.
CC.
I just got back from Vegas. I didn't get a lot of sleep. A really early flight. I do want to shout out. There are quite a few people came out to like talk to me. I had my mat out. I had the hoodie out. Yuki was also in our hoodie, so you might have seen that. So appreciate all the fans, new and old. I know a couple people said they would catch out and sub and let me know which
Mm.
videos they like and dislike. But I am joined by my co-creator, co-commentator, co-caster, co-compatriot Rob, who was not there. However,
Way to shame me for not going. I,
he will be in Worlds, so we'll both be at
yeah.
Worlds, and we will have goodies with us at Worlds. So if you can find us, we might have more things for you, because we're just Santa Claus. And with that being said, I was saying that our CC replays will be tailored towards the nationals outside of the U.S. first, mainly because the coverage for the U.S. Nats was like pretty in depth, and they didn't have
Yeah.
any coverage for the calling, which was really sad. Because I was watching, I tweeted earlier Yuki's game at the very beginning of the round because I got a pretty good seat. I like kind of ran over there to get a good view. That game was nuts. Spoiler alert: Yuki is the calling Vegas champion, and she earned it. Holy moly, that game was tight.
What was her?
That was.
Who was her opponent? Do you remember?
It was a Bravo, and she was at like two. She went on like two life without New Horizon, so she
Okay.
essentially made the play to win the game. Codex is busted, but my point is, there's no actual replay of that. They didn't decide to cast, and they didn't decide to record any of the calling, which is a little bit sad. But it's fine, I guess. But
Mm.
um,
Yeah.
that
But
being said, we're
here
gonna
we
try
are with
to
Australian
Australian that.
Nats. Yeah.
So we're gonna try not to spoil. So this is semifinals. We're not gonna try not to spoil like who won, who lost, in case you want to like check out the actual live coverage. But we're just gonna give a little bit of context for these kind of games. So this is semifinals. We got Fahad on the left here with Kano. Yes, you heard me right. It is Kano. It looks like it's signed by James White too. If I recognize that signature. I know Rob recognizes
It
that signature.
yeah, it's kind of covered, but it looks like the first part of it, at least.
It does. And then we have this kind of local armory guy. I don't think he really does much in the scene. We have Hayden on the right, just
Yeah.
kind of fairly basic kind of guy. Runs a couple local armories. So these two players are locked in for quite a bit of prizing. We can start the game. I believe Hayden's on
Sure.
Dromai. It's
They've
gonna
got
be
some setup
Dromai
to do
versus
anyway.
Kano.
Yeah. So I will
Uh,
say that Kano has been doing fairly well in the national season. I saw a post about him winning Poland nationals. The Polish nationals were won by Kano, so he's starting to rack up some points. So he might be like a deck to play if pending this game. I don't really know who wins yet, but pending this game, pending the Poland nationals, championship, it'd be interesting to keep an eye on him.
I think I think it might not be so much like you'd really want to learn and play Kano because Kano
It's
requires
more
a
more for those
lot of
who
skill.
like to play Kano, and they weren't sure if
Yeah.
he'd be good in the meta. It seems like he can take a lot of people off guard.
He is the ultimate solitaire deck. If you enjoy kicking back on your lunchtime and just playing solitaire, Kano's really good. Like there's not that much interaction built
Yeah.
in this kit at the moment. You're gonna see a lot of like OTKs. You're gonna see a lot of like setup, pitch stacking. It's just not a lot of interaction there. I think what this will do is people will like put in things like shock charmers and like more null rune,
Mm,
and they're gonna make Kano. They're gonna make it a lot harder for Kano to win because I think people were respecting Kano a little bit because Icelander's in the meta, so it's not like they don't run AB anyways. Like they'll probably won one or two,
yeah.
but it wasn't necessarily for Kano. Like, for example, a lot of Bravos were on like one or two null rune because they were just like, okay, well, Bullander is just one null rune, and then you
Yeah.
could use the rest armor to like block their attack actions, right? So it's not like you really need all the null rune. So and like Pablo's list only had two null rune, but it's really for the Icelander matchup. So maybe now like all Bravos will be on three null rune because Kano, but
Yeah.
I think it really kind of depends on like the respect you'd give. Like if you know any good Kano players in your kind of meta that are kind of
Yeah.
going or stuff like that. But I think in an open event, it is not common to see a Kano, especially at the higher level tables. So I think Kano does require enough reps that it might turn off a lot of players with the play style and the time commitment.
Hmm.
However, we're going to see if Fahad here whip out his knowledge because he is into the semi, so he clearly knows what he's doing here. Now, this
Hmm.
matchup's kind of interesting. This is Kano versus Dromai. So Hayden on Dromai. The only real AB that Dromai usually runs is like the Ashwings, right?
Right.
The AB one of all the Ashwings. I like. I think Dromai used to maybe possibly run stilettos, but I think like since then, there's been other options like Seekers, and I think Silken
Mm.
Form was used back in the day before Seekers because Silken Form came out Uprising, Seekers came out later. So they've kind of been upgrading to all these kind of pitch to prevent to be able to create Ash. Um,
Yeah,
so I
absolutely.
don't really know. I don't really know if first of all, I don't know who's seed. Like I don't know who has seed, so I don't know who's going first or second. But I think ideally you're going to be wanting to go second in these matchups. I don't know. I think Hayden's on Big Dragon. Like when I mean Big Dragon, he's running
Okay.
like Tomultai, Dominia. I don't think he's
Yeah,
running like a
more of
aggro
the
Mara list.
classic version.
Yeah, yeah, because the US Nats Dromais, there were two Dromais. They were on two different lists. The one of them was the more aggro-centric list, like more Mara style. Mara style. So she's got her own style. So the
Yeah,
Mara style
she is
list,
the
and then
I guess creator of that deck.
yeah, and then the other Dromai, more big dragon, like Ian Zhang's dragon, like the very, very methodical kind of build board
Mm-hmm.
state, run a bunch of things like Nekria, possibly with Serakai. I think Thamai is going to be key here because when if Dromai gets if Hayden gets a Thamai on the board and Kano is not able to actually kill it because 4 health is a lot,
Yep.
and he can't kill it, you can't Kano on your opponent's turn, meaning
Yep.
your Wildfire, your Aether Wildfire is not doing a whole lot of anything here. So I think it's going to be does Fahad have some kind of strategy to counter Thamai? Because I think if Hayden's on Big Dragon, he's probably running Thamais. Now,
Oh yeah.
does he know there's a lot of Kanos in this map? That like do these two know each other? I have no idea, and I don't I'm not gonna spoil myself with the deck list, so I'm not actually gonna presume to
You're
know.
not
So
not
let's
curious.
I'm you know what I would be curious if I was a little bit more awake, but at this particular
Fair enough.
stage
Yeah.
of my sleep cycle for 4.5 hours, I'm a little tired, but the viewers cannot not have a video on Tuesday, so we're gonna we're gonna record this and get this
Absolutely.
out. So
Sleep be
people
damned.
can,
We'll get a video out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
guess.
Kano doesn't really have
Sorry, go
many
ahead.
options for dealing with Ashwings, right? Because Ashwings, they're 1 health little things. You don't really want to spend one of your big spells to kill a single Ashwing. I think Singed
No,
might be the only option that Kano might have.
Singed-
I don't know if they run the Singed to respect the Ashwings.
I don't know. They just take damage because, like, at that point, it's such a specific card. They can't even do it at instant speed and react. Like, they could do it off the top if they hit it, but
Off
like
the top.
Icelander can like
Yeah.
technically just put it in the
A
arsenal and
blue
respond.
Singed, I think it targets one or two, I forget. But
So let's pause it for a sec because I want to know what
sure.
Aiden's equipment is. I don't know if you can see what Hayden's equipment is. I can't see it on
Um,
my end.
it seems like everything is. There is a. Is that Spellfray? No, that's
Oh, I see Kano's equipment. I see Kano's equipment. Just I'm looking at Hayden's equipment. I just see Null Rune gloves. That's all I
Oh, I'm
see.
sorry. You're looking at. Yeah. I see. Okay, yeah. So it's a bit cut off. Crown of Providence is the headpiece.
Crown of
There is the
Providence.
the
Okay.
furnace.
Furnace.
Um,
Yes.
and the boots. I can't really see. I'm pretty sure it's not the footsteps.
We're gonna
Um,
assume it's Seekers. We're gonna assume it's like regular Seekers legs or something like that.
yeah, it looks like Seekers to me, but I can't really tell because Hayden's face is plastered right on top of it. Anyway, I'll push play. But yeah, there's like there's AB1 I guess on the gloves,
Yeah.
and that's basically it.
There is AB1 the glove, so I think like that's more than I would. It's possible Hayden just kind of like knows the people. There's a bunch of strong Kanos in the meta, so he's just gonna rock the Nullrune gloves to
Hmm.
handle things like that. He might also just have it for Icelander. I don't know how many blues are in his deck, but they do. Big Dragon does run some blues.
Yeah,
It's not like the
you got
red
to get
line
out
build
a Tumultai, right?
it's very hard to get a Tumultai off an all red deck. Let me tell you that getting 5 pitch off reds is very difficult.
Yeah,
But I think the idea is that on Hayden's side, if he could snipe Striders this game, I think like if he can just okay, so it is Hayden going first, but if he could somehow Tumultai the Striders, it forces Fahad
that's
to respond. Like it forces him to respond essentially.
yeah. I mean that's
Like
game.
before,
Kano
yeah.
cannot combo off without them
No, he has to essentially respond to the, Tumultai resolving
by
and playing
using
it
them
out.
often.
But
Yeah, but if you're at high health total, like maybe turn 3 or 4, very unlikely he'll be able to get enough power to close out the game. So it's basically
sure.
going to be a win if you can get Tumultai off that early.
So it looks like Fahad is just like going off on Hayden's turn because Hayden just put passing Mirage. So Hayden can't like do any crazy damage to Fahad if he just like
Passing
goes
with
off.
yeah, passing with passing Mirage.
So Fahad is like just pitching his
Spindle.
entire hand here. He got Tome of Aether Wind, he drew 2 cards, he is red spindling for 5, and he also has a quickening. So he can use the last pitch to play the Aether Quickening, which comes in for 4, I believe. So
Hmm.
1 for 4, and then that will be able to. I think that's the surge where if it does. four or more than four. Oh, yes, the Oasis. Ooh,
Okay, yeah, very clean. Yeah.
very very clean. So the Oasis does block with the AB. He pitches one for AB and the other for the Oasis. Fully blocks the spindle.
Yep.
And the Wildfire. Oh, it's just a blue Wildfire, so it's just coming in for two.
Right.
So I mean, Hayden could just use his last pitch and block one. I don't really know. Yeah, I think he's probably just gonna block the one. But
Right. Right. Yeah, block one,
Fahad,
take one.
yeah, Fahad trying to like get some damage across. Interesting to see the Warmongers in the Dromai deck because Warmongers does hurt you also. But like when you play it, you also have to like
Yeah.
pick War or Peace yourself. And the thing, well, you can't. Um, the way it works is like you have your non-attack action invoke to get the dragon and then attacking. So it's two different things, meaning you gotta choose one or the other. You can just choose peace and invoke a bunch of dragons and not attack. Or if you have a bunch of dragons, you can, play sigil like or something like an instant, like or a red attack and then go again and try to get it that way. So it is interesting to see the Warmongers in Hayden's deck. I don't think I've seen Warmongers recently in any of the Dromai decks, but
Right.
that's that's the personal
Yeah, I
preference
think
maybe. But
the way it's worded is you cannot use attacks. Oh, you pick either attacks or non-attack action cards. And
on
the dragon is
weapon
not
activations.
activation. Okay, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
the dragons are not cards per se because they've already been played, but their attacks become
Yes.
whatever you said. I forgot the word. they become
Activated abilities.
activated abilities. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that I mean Hayden getting the Oasis turn 0 is clutch. It's like getting if Fahad was able to get like a spindle off for 4 and just opt 4 and get to like get his ideal hand because right now this is just an Aether Flare I think, and he's pitching into an Aether Flare. It looks like he Kano'd off the top, got the flare, and pitching with Wildfire to get it off. That's just kind of mediocre. Like that's not great, right? So if Fahad was actually able to get the opt 4 and carve out the hand, the fact that he's pitching with Wildfire kind of makes me believe he has a second Wildfire in hand that he's going to like place in the arsenal. But maybe
Right.
I'm just too basic. Maybe that's already
Yeah.
like
I mean, you can't
way behind.
you can't count on seeing that one back. I think not in this matchup.
No, I don't think it's going to go to pitch stack, but it's an interesting proposition to be like, okay, well, Dromai has CNCs. Like most Dromais play CNC, so if Hayden's able to put enough pressure on the arsenal and stall out, I don't know who that helps better. Because if Fahad maybe is trying to pitch stack, then it does help him to like block out with cards and then come back and start chipping Hayden. Because Hayden doesn't have that much. Oh, the Thamai comes out
Speaking of the devil.
immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's responding like I
So-
said he has to, essentially. So he has to Kano or Striders in response to a
Yeah.
Thamai.
You likely wouldn't Striders because that's your win con. So you're probably going to Kano off
Yeah.
the top and hopefully get something that can target dragons, first of
For
all.
sure.
Because not everything can.
Correct. Not everything can, but
it
there
looks
are
like a wildfire.
there are
A blue wildfire? Or not
it
wildfire.
that looks like Scalding Rain.
Scalding Rain, sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. All these Wither cards look the same. I understand.
Yeah, I'm
so
only
we
seeing
do
like a corner of the card too. Yeah.
Oh, he's Stridersing.
Oh.
That must be. Is he gonna Wildfire and target the Thamai? He might be. Yeah, he is Wildfire targeting the Thamai. I was
Oh.
sitting there. I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm a little surprised.
that's,
Because there was no setup, no epots were played. So I feel like this is okay, well, it'll be a big chunk of damage, but it's not gonna be lethal.
he might be hitting him.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
it looks like he's hitting him. No, he's hitting him for sure. So he's gonna be
Okay.
taking 5. He might just be like, if he had like, how many ways does Kano really have to like kill that dragon? It's not a lot.
Yeah, I think
the fact
Voltic
that-
Voltic targets anything. I'm trying to remember. Because Voltic would be an option, I think.
I'm not actually.
Yeah, because I remember there were a subset of cards that
No,
target
no,
only
no.
heroes.
Target hero.
That's only
target
heroes.
hero.
Okay, so Voltic would be
a lot
enough.
of the uprising cards target allies also because of Dromai being released. So a lot
Right.
of those cards forward. But Fahad's just trying to get value off his Striders now, which is completely reasonable because there's only AB1 on Hayden, so you're really trying to like chunk out as much damage as possible.
Okay.
But
Yeah, so we're going less
You
for the
should
combo
hear.
oriented build, or not build, but strategy, and more just on the trickle damage turn by turn.
yeah, he's trickling down to 8. So as far as combo versus trickling damage,
Yeah,
he's
never mind. It was
definitely
actually
comboing.
much more than I thought it was going to be. That's really good. So he got off Wildfire, he got off Scalding, and Aether Flare.
Aether Flare, yeah, that was a pretty strong Kano turn. I think the key is that he was able to get so much damage that in reality he still has Ragamuffins up. So he'd be able to like pitch towards Kano, put whatever he wants on the top.
Mm,
So he could like pitch to Kano, like hold the resolutions on Kano on the stack, Ragamuffins the last card, and have Kano like guarantee flip that card.
hmm.
Like if you have a red in your hand and you need to get that red on the top of your deck and you don't want to risk it,
Right.
that's what Ragamuffins is for, right? And then the rest of the Kanos can just resolve.
Right.
So he's definitely going to be trying to layer that in when he has less cards, like maybe 3 cards in hand, and then he pitch Ragamuffins or red or
Hmm.
something like that. Because the key is he needs 1 card in hand, but he
Right.
needs the pitch available to do it.
That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
we'll
So
see.
you
We'll see
pitch
how it.
first and resolve the ragamuffins after.
Yeah, you pitch to Kano and then hold priority on the resolution, and you essentially respond to Kano with however many times you want to do it,
Yep.
and then you respond with Ragamuffins, and so the stack essentially goes Ragamuffins first, and when what Ragamuffin sees is because Kano is the cost of 3,
Mhm.
uh, you have to pitch the 3, so Ragamuffins resolves, it only sees the 1 card, so essentially you'll draw 1, put 1 back, right, and that card that you essentially drew will be able to pay for
Mhm.
whatever you want to Kano.
Right.
So it is interesting though because Hayden still has the Thamai, so
Right.
Fahad's gonna have to do it on his turn,
Exactly. Yeah.
which is fine. Because really the only thing that you really want to do on their turn is wildfire, because that text is literally you
Yeah.
either do 4 if you do it on your turn, or you do 4 and that stacks on their turn
Yeah.
essentially, right?
And that's
So
that's been done. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. There is one at the bottom of the deck, which you're not going to see very likely. So, higher chance of drawing something you actually want to play.
yeah, it is interesting seeing the rabble. So I'm not actually totally sure. It might be more,
What
more
kind
like
of
a hybrid
version?
list.
Could be somewhere in between. Because it's
Yeah,
probably
it
more
could.
red line. We do see the passing, of course. It's a blue. So there's
Mhm.
still some blues, but maybe just fewer.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely have blues in the sideboard. Like 3 blues in the sideboard isn't going to kill you. So you could have like path.
Mm.
What's this? Okay, well the second Thamai doesn't really do. Oh no, sorry.
Oh,
That's
he's
just
just he's just putting on the dragons. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And Fahad
Okay.
cannot care less. Like you don't want
No.
to be blocking any of this damage, right?
No, exactly.
There's an
Oh,
Ember
very
set. Yeah,
nice.
you
That's
gotta,
six
you gotta.
more. Yikes. Okay. Well, life totals
It's just
are pretty close now.
it's a blue Senpai. In reality, you would have to like do something that just stops him from essentially just chipping him down, right? Because you
Yeah.
still only have AB1
Oof.
off your Null Rune gloves.
And Spindle's gonna be very nice to be able to opt to get what you need to finish the game. So
Hayden,
five
Hayden
damage.
needs
He needs
Hayden needs another
another.
Oasis,
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, he
and
needs
he needs it.
Oasis to
He needs
block
it
this.
now.
He needs it yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he got it yesterday, which was turn 1, or turn 0 in that particular case.
Oof.
But
Yeah, if he had gotten it during the wildfire, that would have been insane.
okay. So he's running the Seeker's Legs, like I kind of mentioned before. So he will be able to prevent damage. This is what you want to do it on. Like you want to do it on the impactful spells.
Hmm.
Aether Spindle is the most impactful spell specifically at this point because it opts and lets him, search for things to kill him.
Yep.
Because he's gonna be wanting to get things like Red Voltic Bolt,
Yep.
other big like 5 power spell, or sorry, 5 arcane damage spells to be able to pump with Crucible. Um,
Yep.
and
Because
he's going to be.
Kano does have 2 cards left in hand, so we can still pay for Kano activation
You can still pay
and
for
get
Kano
something big
activation.
off the top.
That is correct. So the prevention is 2 at the moment, so he would be taking 3,
So,
I believe. So pitching towards that with Mirror Guy.
so opting 3. That'll be a decent opt. I think that's perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's actually quite good because it's like you really only need one thing because you have a blue to Kano and then
Yeah.
preferably another blue to pay for anything, right? But he doesn't have Crucible, so there's going to be less. There's some cards that
Right.
just aren't as good. I think a Sonic Boom would be funny. Sonic Boom would be
That would be
kind of
pretty
ideal.
decent. Yeah. That maybe Voltic Red would be great. 5 extra damage, I
Well,
believe.
yeah, for sure. But he gets the
Oh,
Chain Lightning, which
chain.
is
Okay. So dealing
the
3, I
chain.
believe, and
Yeah,
chain, I believe, lets you play
he
the
doesn't have anything in
next
hand.
action as an instant. Yeah, it doesn't have anything. So
Yeah, if he had a non-attack in hand, like another non-attack wizard spell. But first of all, I think he doesn't. It doesn't. He's not representing any pitch. Chain Lightning doesn't cost 3, so
no, it
this
costs, I
deck.
believe, 1. It's a fairly cheap spell.
Yeah, he could have just not represented the pitch, which is fine because he doesn't have any cards in hand, so it's kind of like whatever. But Chain
Right.
Lightning, you do have to pay for that next because it's not like Sonic Boom that you don't have to
Oh
pay
yeah,
if you do
yeah.
the damage off the cost.
It would have to be like a
The
zap or something for 3.
it'd have to be a yeah, it'd have to be a 0 cost essentially, right? So in this particular case, Hayden's a 3. He's gonna come in with like
This is
balls to the walls
basically
dragons, but
lethal. Yeah, so 3-3-3, that's 9 already. And whatever's in hand. He might have pitched everything last turn to
he
like
pitched
prevent
two
some damage.
cards.
Yeah, okay.
He pitched
So,
two cards, yeah.
yikes.
Oh,
So he's
Aether
actually
Dart.
targeting. Okay, that's interesting. That's probably a good choice because basically you're gonna wait for Hayden to play his cards on the next turn, then finish him off, on his own turn. Which I like
Yeah.
the idea.
I think like there's really no reason to let the Mai live here. Like
Yeah.
it's another dragon, and also just being able to respond and use your ragamuffins to just get the spell and kill him is just infinitely better. Because again,
Yeah.
Seekers is already popped. It's just AB1. Hayden doesn't look like he's got too many blues in the tank anyways, so he's gonna have to keep expending red by red by red. So
Yeah.
Fahad like very much like comfortably in the lead here, I would say, even though it doesn't look like it's comfortable. 3 to 5 is very comfortable for Kano,
Oh,
who can
absolutely.
work on
With
anyone's turn.
AB1,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
Um,
Fahad did arsenal a card. I don't know what it would. There's not as many cards as it could be now that Stormstriders is gone. So
yeah.
like
It's basically going to be a card that you can't play on Hayden's turn. Oh, there's a rake.
ooh,
That's very nice. Okay. With 2 Ash
yeah,
Wings, so he's going to get 3 Ash.
Cindering
Oh,
Foresight in
okay, that is an
response.
instant. Yeah, okay. So that makes sense.
It's an instant
Sindering.
on your opponent's turn. So it looks like it's a blue, so he's only opting one. So the red
Um,
opts three and the yellow block opts two. It
I
looks like he's
kind
only
of I
holding one
kind
card.
of see blue. Oh, sorry, I kind of see red.
No, he's opting one. You can see it on the right
He
hand
only has
there.
one
He's
card.
definitely
Okay.
opting one. He only has one card on the right. So
Okay.
he's opting red cindering would be extremely spicy, and I would
Mm-hmm.
love to see it, but I'm not
It's
I'm
not
not
a
counting on red cindering.
yeah.
No, it's the blue is just infinitely more flexible. So the cindering is still going to give him the bump, right?
The
The
plus
one
one.
extra arcane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
essentially,
very
the only
nice.
difference between the red, yellow, and the blue is the opt. It's not the damage. So he'll still get the Damaggio, but Fahad
Right.
looks like he's questioning life decisions here. But I think he
Mm-hmm.
has. He needs to resolve this before the raid, because if Hayden has blues in hand, it's gonna get ugly real quick, because
Yep.
he's not gonna have a way to get rid of those Ashwings, and so that's Fahad is just be like, can I kill this guy now?
Exactly. And if
Um,
there's an Oasis in hand, I think it might be game, honestly, for Hayden, because
yeah,
Kano's not going to be just sitting there and blocking because there are too many dragons, arcane damage coming through, mixed damage. He has no
mhm,
AB1 anymore, so the dragon's just going to kill him eventually. So this is
yeah,
looking like he has to kill him now, or else Hayden has the game.
yeah. That's fair, and I think it might be the situation where maybe Fahad doesn't have like as many blues as he would like, or he is maybe
Hmm?
kind of just considering the Ragamuffins play, because if he has red, then you'd be fine.
Yep.
Like only Oasis, like if you have like a red Voltic Bolt. Oh, it looks like he's Tome and Aether Dart. Okay, neither of those are big spells, so he
Mm-hmm.
does need a big spell because Hayden's at 3, right? So it looks like another Cinder Foresight. Oh, he's
That's
pitching.
Are those 3 reds? No, they're not. Okay,
No,
okay.
he's
So yeah, he's pitching. It looks like 5.
yeah.
5
So
canoeing, which would cost 3, and with the 2 floating, he can then ragamuffins.
yeah, he could Ragamuffin because he has one card in hand, so he's gonna draw and pick a card to go back on top, and then Kano
Yep.
resolves, and then he can pay for it. Or
Right.
well, he would let both Kanos resolve. Maybe because
It
maybe there's something
it
else on the bottom, right?
it might only be one Kano in this case, right? If you pitch 5, you only have
Yeah,
enough
it
for
might be
one
red,
Kano.
red, blue.
I
He
think
probably
that's
pitched
what it
red, red,
is.
blue. Yeah,
That's what I'm guessing. Yeah,
it'd
yeah.
be nice to have a potion of deja vu or something in this case to like get that all back to the top if you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Ooh,
this
okay.
game's only lasted like 3 or 4 turns.
That's true. Yeah, it's a very high paced game. Like there's basically no way any of these players are just gonna sit back because they're on a clock. Kano can't let Hayden get dragons or else he loses, and Hayden can't block everything because he has AB1.
That's sigil. Oh, that's tragic. Looks like there's a sigil
Ooh.
in response to the ragamuffins.
Yeah, that's amazing. So going to 6. Okay, yeah. So in that case, I think that there's very little that Kano can play to deal 7 damage because there's one
Why?
floating, so he could heal or block one. What's
Why
its
did
home?
he?
Okay.
Why did he choose? Okay, I'll ask it later. But here he's just gonna looks like he's gonna
Oh,
blue
Blue
American.
Emeritus. Looks like only for 5 in this case. 6 because of
No,
the
it's
actually depends
6.
on the mode. Oh. Okay, wait. So I'm officially
Oh
confused. So I think the tome might have picked arcane damage.
no, I think he might have picked 1/1
1-1,
actually.
right. So
Let's just go back for a sec here.
yeah, let's see how much Okay, let me play. Sigil was played.
Well, first of all, I don't know
Tome.
why he's responding to the like. If we pause right here,
Yeah, he
I'm
drew
not sure
one.
why. I'm not sure why Hayden responded to the ragamuffin specifically with the sigil because that just
Okay,
tells Fahad exactly what he needs to kill him,
that's a good
right?
point.
Because if well, it's not a mistake. It's just like it probably doesn't matter also because if Fahad has him, he has him. But generally, I would try to think that you want to play it at the absolute last second where he's actually dealing damage. So you get Fahad, you get the Kano player to like calculate what they need for lethal, and
Yeah,
a lot of the times it's exact lethal, or it's just like playing around Sigil for an extra 3 health is just like very, very difficult.
right.
So
Yep.
I would assume Hayden just thought it didn't matter, which is fine. But I think it would be better to wait on this because Sigil's an
Because
instant. You
you're
could
just
respond to
revealing information that
you're
only
revealing
you
information.
know for no
Exactly.
reason, right? So
Yeah.
there's no point to revealing early because you can respond to anything with Sigil. You know,
True. Okay.
attack
So
Sigil.
did you say so? He said the tome was one and
I
one. Is
think
that
it's
what?
1-1. So if we calculate the damage, we have one from
Foresight.
Foresight. We got one from the tome. We'll have one more from the Crucible, so 3, and then the
Mhm.
Emeritus would be 4 more, so 7. So basically unblockable.
Yeah, he's it's
Yeah,
1 1 1 6. So
yeah.
it's no, it's more than that because
Oh,
it's blue emeritus, so it's
yeah. So
4. Okay,
it's for
it's blue
4, right?
emeritus.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
four,
Would
five,
you
six, seven.
run? I think blue's all you run typically, right?
So so that's exact lethal because he had one pitch. Well, he has pitch to block
He
one,
has
and he's at
one
6, so he
AB.
has to do
Yeah,
7. So
yeah. Insane.
let's say you don't reveal the sigil.
Hmm.
Um,
So you're still at
would you
4. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're at 3 in that case.
It's interesting. I mean, I guess that's the thing is Kano. You probably just go for it regardless.
Yeah. I
You
think you
don't play
have to.
around
That
Sigil,
you don't.
but
Yeah.
because he was allowed to essentially pick 1 and 1 because he knew
That's the
exactly what he
thing.
needed to
He
do.
might have picked draw 2, right? Hoping to get something like another blue maybe to Kano again. But knowing
Yeah,
that he had exact lethal with the 1-1, that made the difference, right?
sure. Because he has. Can you play it a little bit more? I want to see how much
Yeah.
Fahad has left.
Yeah.
Does he
So
have one
he.
pitch floating? I'm
Oh,
not actually sure if he has one
he.
pitch floating at the end of that.
Ooh, it's gonna be
It's
tough to
possible he
calculate.
does.
So
That's fine. That's
he.
fine. It's just conjecture at this point. We don't really have to go through the motions. It's just a matter of like
I think
he
Emeritus costs 1, right?
two.
It costs 2, so he might have had no floating because
Might have
he
had
plays
no floating.
Tome.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Because he crucibled. Did he have the pitch for that?
Yeah.
Because he crucibled down to 1.
Well, let's play it out.
Yeah. Because
So
so 2 floating now.
essentially,
So he pitched 5, right?
mhm,
Spent 1.
yep.
Sorry. He spent 3 on
He's
the Kano.
he's he spent 3 on the Kano. Kano's waiting to resolve.
Yeah.
So Kano's waiting to resolve, and Ragamuffin is waiting to resolve because Ragamuffin is on the stack. Now this is all towards the rake, essentially all in response to the rake the embers on
Yeah.
Hayden's side.
Yeah. So 2 floating. We know that he puts the tome on the top from the ragamuffin.
He does put the tome on the top because we did see the tome of Findel in his sorry, not tome of Findel, tome of the Aether Wind in his hand.
Yeah.
So that's really the only card it can be when he flips.
Exactly.
So the last card in Hayden's hand is a sigil, so he's gonna play it.
Yeah.
Um,
And then we go off to the races. Nothing left in
yeah,
your way.
yeah. I
But
mean that's a good resolve.
yeah. All right. We're seeing. Oh, interesting. Wait. Um,
He resolved Kano.
Kano before Ragamuffins in this
He's
case,
7.
because he has the card in hand still.
Yeah. Are you sure that's 5? Are you sure that's only one Kano's worth of?
Uh, I might be wrong, but I mean, it's either red, blue, blue, or red, red, blue.
So essentially, he just kind of went fast. So he did Ragamuffins. He did resolve Ragamuffins. It was the
Okay.
tome. He did put the tome on top. The card in his hand is another card.
The card he
Um,
drew.
yeah. So he did resolve Kano. He just did it quickly because you can't see on the stream, but his deck is right next to it, and he actually puts it on top and then flips it
I
essentially. So
see.
he just
Okay.
essentially he resolves both of them very quickly. But it is a Ragamuffins resolve.
Okay.
He puts putting the tome on top. It's just hard to see in this particular angle. And
Okay.
then Kano resolves. He plays the tome, so we can see the tome
So
being played here.
okay. So in that case, he only has 2 floating right now.
He only has two
Oh,
floating,
but he
and
pitches a
then
knee pot. Okay, yeah. So it
yeah,
was the
he
pot that
pitches
he
the
drew.
yeah, but he has another card in hand.
A Voltic.
Oh, because of the tome. Because of the tome.
Okay.
He drew a card because of tome, and that was it. So that was exactly so his stack
Okay.
was fine. So I think he still had one floating. So in that
Mm.
particular case, it's possible that if he didn't see the sigil, he might have gone for draw two and try to get something else because one costs anything, right? So
Yeah.
it's possible he just tries to go for it and whiffs. It's a
Could be.
thing.
Could be.
I don't know how likely it is. I think it's probably like super minor. It doesn't matter. But very great game
Yeah.
overall. Just both players seemingly having the nuts, but like countering each other's nuts, which sounds weird saying that out loud. But like Hayden having Oasis exactly when he needs it in the first instance, and then getting the Thamai like literally
Mm.
turn two, like that's a very and then like it's very fast getting like the 1-2 punch here because you're not running more than a regular. But I don't even know if he's running more than two Thamais to be honest with you. So
Mm-hmm.
getting one that early, and then Fahad having like the combo seemingly blind because like I
Yeah.
didn't really see him. I didn't see
It,
an Ivaphidia. Like there was no opt or anything like that. It was essentially
no.
blind. Fahad ends up taking this one, moving on to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I
No
don't think
spoilers.
more no spoil. I don't think Hayden could have done any better with more Null Rune. I think like Seeker's Null Rune one was fine. I think he just like
Mm-hmm.
Fahad happened to get. I think the blind uh Blazing Aether was just like a little bit too good.
Yeah. Do you think he could have
Getting
used Seekers on the Aether Flare? Aether Wildfire?
It's possible because the Seekers does cost one.
Right.
So Hayden doesn't really want to give up his last card for it. I don't think it's Sigil, but I think it might be no, it's just a Uvia. That's interesting. I'm not really sure why I decided not to Seekers there, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just, I mean, as an inexperienced Kano player, that seemed like something I would hate to happen because that prevents.
mhm.
I think it prevents two. Uh,
Seekers prevents one.
is it only one? Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's only one. You're right. Yeah. So it
You
prevents
can
one
prevent
from.
two total with the AB one.
Yeah. Okay. So you reduce the wildfire down to two. And that's a
He
lot
well
less
yeah.
damage, right?
So it goes from 6 to 4.
Oh, because it
It
was
goes from
buffed.
6 to 4. Yeah, it was buffed by Metacarpus also. So
That makes
Metacarpus
sense. Right.
Crucible.
Right.
So it would go from 6 to 4 instead of 6 to 5. What ended up happening, and then the extra one damage floated on to the scalding rain,
Scalding. So that's an extra two damage that you're
and then
preventing.
the blazing doubles that, right? So the
Would have
blazing
been
essentially takes scalding, so it gets one from the scalding buff, and then it gets another one from the wildfire buff. So it's a three
right.
damage total. It's a 3 damage swing. So
So that's
and I
five
don't
in total that he prevented.
yeah, and Fahad couldn't have really, but like I mean, he didn't use it later to prevent the damage, but I think he literally just prevented one damage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
off the spindle, right? Off the spindle was the key. He prevented an extra one off the spindle. So it's actually kind of interesting why he didn't decide to do the wildfire. But that was the game. If everyone enjoyed this kind of content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If there's a game in particular you want us to review and take a look at, shoot us a comment and we'll take a look. And with that, from wherever you're watching in the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Bye for now.